לחיים. לחיים. To life, לחיים. לחיים, לחיים, to life. It's to the father of back to be, it's to your back to be. Drink לחיים, to life, לחיים. L'chaim, to life. Life has a way of confusing us, blessing and bruising us. Drink l'chaim to life. God would like us to be joyful, even when our hearts like hang on the floor. How much more can we be joyful when there's really something?
What part of the Bronx did you live in?
Southeast.
Southeast Bronx.
Garden part of the world.
Neighborhood candy store on the corner?
No, there was a neighborhood candy store right downstairs in our building, which is where we received our phone calls. Seriously, we didn't have a phone. And I still remember the phone number of that payphone, Mott Haven 59585.
Couple things to remember about growing up, what you would do for fun. You would use stickball, what would you do?
Stickball, curveball, stoop ball, softball, touch football. In fact, that neighborhood was a Yankee bat boy. And one day he brought Phil Rizzuto to the schoolyard. The scooter. And he was great. He played touch football with us. And he really spent a couple of fun hours with us.
Wow.
Great guy. I always wanted to be, as a kid, I wanted to be a aeronautical engineer. So I went to a good high school, Stuyvesant. From there, I went to Brooklyn College.
Me too.
Really?
I went to Brooklyn College.
Well, after a couple of years at Brooklyn, I decided that engineering wasn't for me. So a cousin of mine had a job at a newspaper called Women's Wear Daily.
Oh.
And I had a sudden yen to go into advertising as opposed to engineering. So he said, fine, come to work at Women's Wear as a copy boy and work your way into the advertising department. Great. I got a job as a copy boy. But instead of going into advertising, I wound up on the editorial side and became a reporter.
Wow. I didn't know you worked for Women's Wear Daily.
Yes, from 48 on.
How many years were you there?
48 till 77 is 29 years.
Wow.
I was a reporter first in the textile market. And the guy sitting in front of me covered the fur market, and he had covered it for 7 or 8 years and had enough. Nobody else wanted to take that job, and I was ready to make a switch. So I started covering the fur market. That was in 1960. No, manufacturing of furs has moved to China.
Wow, even furs have moved to China.
Even fine furs. Wow. I still write.
Correctly?
Well, about 35 years ago, I left Women's Wear and I started my own publication, a weekly trade newsletter on the fur business. First 35 years are not bad.
What's it called?
It's called Sandy Parker Reports.
Wow. And you do this, it's published once a week now?
Every week.
Once a week?
Right.
And how is it published? Is there a hard copy or is it online now?
It's online mostly.
How do you earn money from that? Who pays you to publish?
Subscribers.
Subscribers, okay. So
it's a subscription only.
It's industry?
Strictly industry. It's subscription only, no advertising. And it's
how many people subscribe to your product?
Not enough.
Not enough. at the peak, in the 35 years, what was the most subscribers you ever had? 1,000?
Close to 1,000.
Close to 1,000.
They are everybody from hunters and trappers and mink farmers to skin dealers, manufacturers, retailers, lawyers, accountants, and anybody who has any contact with the fur trade. Prices of fur skins were never higher than they are right now. A pelt that cost $20 35 years ago would be about, could be about $100 today.
So a five-fold increase.
Right. But you know something, it sounds like a lot. I think it's still behind the inflation rate.
You moved to Boca Lago.
10 years ago.
From where?
From Merrick, Long Island.
Merrick. And
Born in the Bronx, got married in the Bronx to a Bronx girl. Moved to Forest Hills. And from Forest Hills to Valley Stream. Valley Stream, I lost my first wife and met the second one and moved to Merrick, where she lived. And Dottie and I are married now for 11 years and living in Boca Lago. Well, we bought in Boca Lago in, I think it was 06, no, yeah. Maybe 05, I'm not sure.
okay.
But moved down permanently 2 years later.
Children?
I have three. I have 2 daughters and a son. One daughter is still in New York. One daughter is in Phoenix, and my son is in New York. Her daughter is a nurse practitioner with a whole lot of letters after her name. My son is a banker, and my other daughter is, she sells computer training programs.
Grandchildren?
My daughter's daughter works with her mother, and her son is an assistant manager of a diner in Long Island.
When did you learn how to play Pinochle?
From my father.
Yeah, right.
My parents, when we were living in the Bronx, my parents, this is before TV, they would play Pinochle every night, almost every night. And I sort of learned the game watching. I learned enough from my parents so that when I could play with another friend against my parents, he would call me an idiot for the plays that I made. Well, I think we started playing Pinochle here about maybe 3 years ago.
What would you say is the most important lesson in life that you've learned in your life, from a kid in the Bronx to playing Pinochle at Boca Lago?
That anything is possible.
Anything is possible. Now, I thought you might say if you work hard enough, if you live long enough, but you're just saying anything is possible.
Exactly.
Is there a caveat to that, or is just simply anything is possible?
Anything is possible.
Anything is possible. Sounds like a Walt Disney.
It can be prefaced by if you work hard enough and live long enough. Anything is possible.
Anything is possible. Well, Sandy, thank you very much.
My pleasure.
My name is Herman Leventhal, but they all call me Buddy. I was born in Butler, Pennsylvania, July 26, 1926.
My name is Irving J. Schrager.
I
was born in New York City in what is known as Harlem now, on 112th Street and 2nd Avenue.
What year?
1924.
And find I'm king of the hill, top of the heap. These little town blues.
What's the total amount in the deck, Sandy? 250.
And a queen and king is 5, and an ace and 10 is 10.
The game is over.